Hello there and welcome to another Coffee with Colin, and thanks for tuning in. Today I want to talk to you about the concept of a 2020 vision for your life. I know you've come across the phrase 2020 vision, but the question is, have you ever considered it in relation to your life? Do you have a 2020 vision for your life? Most people that I come across don't set goals. Those few that do set goals typically only around career or business, and very rarely do I come across somebody who's actually got a vision for their life in total. So to try and get around that, I'm encouraging people, anytime I get talking to a group, I encourage people to develop a 2020 vision for their life. And to do so, we focus on a very specific day, and that is your birthday in 2020. So a couple of quick questions for you, if I may. How old are you today? And how does that make you feel? Right? For some of you it's very exciting, for some of you are thinking, time's getting a bit short. It is what it is, okay? Second question I want to ask you is, how old will you be on your birthday in 2020? And I've put a whole load of questions into the blog if you've got time to read that and perhaps get a pen and paper and answer a few questions for yourself. I think that would be very useful. But what I want you to do, please, is imagine your birthday in 2020. Go on a journey with me here. Imagine your birthday in 2020 and imagine that on that day, because between now and then you've had time to make some adjustments in your life to try and put some stuff back on track or get stuff out of your way that's causing problems, so that on your birthday in 2020 you actually wake up to the day that you've really wanted. Everything on that day, in your birthday in 2020, everything is working exactly the way you'd like it to work. And what does that include? That includes health is good, relationships are good, the few bob is in the bank, the mortgage is being paid, the car starts in the morning, business is cranking along, life is good. Okay, whatever that means for you on your birthday in 2020, life is working the way you want it to. What I'd like you to do is imagine that on your birthday in 2020, you've had the best day ever. You've taken the day off work or business. You haven't answered phone calls or emails. It's just been you and your significant others, family and friends, and you've had a great day. And you're heading out that evening to have a celebration somewhere. And as you're heading out the door in the glad rags, you take the phone out and you take a selfie, and you put it out there on the World Wide Web to show the world that life is good in this moment. Life is really good in this moment. And of course the camera never lies, so the camera is showing you looking at your very best on that day. Why? Because between now and then you've actually taken the steps that you needed to take to create the life that you really wanted as manifested on your birthday in 2020. So the selfie looks great, you're looking great, you're feeling great, and out you go to celebrate. However, even though you're now getting clearer on what your 2020 vision is, and I encourage you to do some work on this, right? Even though you're getting clearer on it, you know that life is going to get in your way, because life has gotten in your way in the past, and that's not going to change. Life, unfortunately, is not like the maitre d' in a fancy restaurant who opens the door and greets you and takes you to your seat and says, there you go, you have everything you want. Life is more like the bouncer at the door of a nightclub saying, do you want in here? You can have it, but you got to get past me first. So life throws stuff in your way, throws stuff in my way to see what we're made of. It's not trying to thwart our plans. It's trying to see, are we worthy of the vision and the goals that we've set for ourselves? And so to help us on that journey, I'm going to share with you something that works for me and has worked for many people when I've shared it. So I'd like to invite you to do an exercise with me, if I may. It's called my thumbs exercise, and it works very well in a group setting, and I'm confident it'll work just as well here. What we're going to do is, you've got your 2020 vision for your life, you've got the selfie, and what I would like you to do is imagine that your selfie is projected somewhere in your room. Somewhere, it might be on a picture, it could be on a clock, it could be on a wine bottle, it could be on a book. Pick something in your room that you can apply your selfie to, and imagine you're taking steps towards creating that reality for yourself. I'm going to assume that my selfie is here on the camera lens. And what I'd like you to do, please, is stick out one arm, stick up one thumb, and close one eye. And I'm going to explain to you what I'm doing here, right? The arm represents the passage of time. The thumb represents a problem that's coming into your future. You know the problems are going to be in your future. And by closing one eye, as I've just done here now, I've lost sight of my 2020 vision for my life. And I'd like you to do the same. I'd like you to imagine you're taking steps towards your 2020 vision. Everything's going swimmingly for a while, and then all of a sudden a problem lands. The problem is represented by your thumb. So if you stick out your arm, please, stick up one thumb and close one eye. If you're doing this correctly and listening to my voice, you're looking at the back of your thumb now, and you've lost all sight of your 2020 vision. Okay? So what is the thumb? The thumb is a problem that needs your attention. It's so big and so real that it causes you to focus just on it and not on your 2020 vision. You've lost sight of actually where you're headed. But because you're motivated and organised and focused, you're going to work really hard and knock that thumb down, get past that problem. And what's beyond it? You're absolutely right. Your selfie. So please knock down your thumb and look beyond it to your selfie. You can see the selfie in the distance. I'm quite sure you're delighted and relieved. However, what's coming down the track, and you know this from your history, is the next problem. So arms out, thumbs up, one more time please, one eye closed, one more time. Another problem, could be 3 weeks, 3 months, a year and a half down the track, but another problem has landed and has taken all of your focus, and you've lost sight yet again of where you're headed, okay? But because you're motivated and organised and focused on all those things, and you know where you're headed, really, you're going to work really hard and knock this problem down. And what's beyond it? Yes, your selfie, your 2020 vision, but you also know at this stage there are more problems on their way. So arms out, thumbs up. One last time I'm going to show you how to get past them. You see, here is one more thumb, and this is yet another big problem. You've yet again lost sight of where you're headed. You've lost your 2020 vision. You've lost your mojo perhaps. And this is maybe one problem too many. You're about to throw in the towel. It's my belief that most businesses that fail in the first 5 years do so because of this phenomenon. They haven't legislated for, planned for the problems that are going to come in their way. And all of a sudden they realise that if they knock this problem down, which they will do, they know that there's another problem coming. So too many people get to this stage where they've handled almost one problem too many and decided, you know what, life just isn't worth it. I just think I'll throw in the towel. And I don't want that to happen for you. So let me show you how to get past this. This is that problem. This is one problem, almost too many. So what I'd like you to do, before you throw in the towel on this one problem, almost too many, I'd like you please to open both eyes. Leave the thumb there and open both eyes. Now, it's not quite magic. If you're doing this right, you'll have noticed that you can see your selfie again beyond the thumb. Isn't that correct? Yeah, that's what I can see. I can see my selfie again beyond the thumb. I can see the camera lens yet again, okay? The thumb is still there, isn't it? Yes, it is. It's still real. Yes, it is. But what's happened to its intensity? Isn't it less intense, less scary perhaps than it was when it was all you could see? Of course it is. And because you can see past it, I'm quite sure you'll agree with me that you can see ways to perhaps get around it, get over it, get under it. And if you get good enough at this stuff, perhaps in time you'll be able to see those thumbs coming down the track and you'll be able to head them off at the pass, and maybe they won't grow into the monsters that perhaps they might have done in the past. So my friend, please finally put the thumb down, put the arm down, keep both eyes focused on your 2020 vision, and please remember this exercise. Remember that life is going to throw thumbs in your way, and it's doing so to see are you worthy of your goals and your dreams, and I'm telling you that you are, but you've got to decide that you are, and you've got to keep focused on where you're headed, get very clear of your 2020 vision, stay focused on where you're headed, and then just bat those thumbs out of the way as they come into your vision. And that's what I'm trying to help you do today. I'm trying to help you develop a 2020 vision for your life first and foremost, and then I'm trying to give you some tools and strategies that you can use to make sure that you stay on track and don't get knocked off track by those thumbs that inevitably life will throw at you. I'm so passionate about this type of stuff that I've created a 12-step program to help people create the life they really want, and it's based on proven strategies that I've used over the years to create the life that I really want. So if you wish to go a little deeper into this subject for you, I've created a link at the bottom of the blog which gives you the first step, the first lesson of 12 free, no sign up required. If you'd like the first lesson for free, go to the bottom of the blog and it goes deeper into this particular topic of you creating a 2020 vision for your life. Regardless of whether you take that offer or not, please get clear on your 2020 vision for your life and then take steps towards it. Figure out what needs to change in your life and start making adjustments now. Continue to make adjustments as you go to arrive on your birthday in 2020 in good shape, living the life that you really want. And I'm going to give you one last analogy, if I may, to help you with this 2020 vision concept. I live in Limerick. Imagine this is the map of Ireland. I live in Limerick, which is in the Midwest, and Letterkenny is in County Donegal, way up north, and Cork City is in Cork, way down south. So let's assume for a moment that my 2020 vision, by way of an analogy, the destination for me is Letterkenny. Well then, it wouldn't make any sense for me to get in my car and start driving towards Cork, would it? No, it wouldn't. However, too many people don't know that their 2020 vision is in fact Letterkenny, and they just get in their car and drive the car of their life, and they're driving around in circles. And you ask them, are they busy? And they say, oh my goodness, flat out, you wouldn't believe it. And you ask them, are they productive? And they're saying, oh, don't be asking hard questions. Because they haven't decided where they're headed. They're just busy, flat out. You wouldn't believe it. It's not good enough anymore, my friend. 2020 vision, you've only got one life. There's only one round of the clock here. It's not dress rehearsal. There is no dress rehearsal. And the question is, what are you doing about it? Decide what you want your 2020 vision to look like and then start taking steps towards it. And then use the thumbs exercise to analyse the problems that life's going to throw in your way to see you're worthy of the goal, and keep batting them away, but make sure you keep your eye on where you're headed. It's really important that you know where you're headed, and then make sure you stay focused on that at all times. And thank you for joining me for this week's Coffee with Colm. I hope and I trust as ever that you got something from it. The objective of the series is whereby I take snippets from my business journey, stuff that I've learned over the years, much of which is chronicled in my book, Feeding Johnny How to Build a Business Despite the Roadblocks, and I share those snippets out there on a weekly basis over a cup of coffee for about 5 minutes or so, in the hopes that by me doing so, it'll afford you a shortcut where back in the day I had none. If you've enjoyed it and you think somebody else would benefit, I'd be delighted and honoured if you'd pass the link on. If it's your first time here and you'd like more of this type of stuff, well then please go to the homepage, ColmO'BrienMotivation.com, leave me your details and we send you a link like this every week. If it's been of benefit, I'd love to hear from you. Go to the bottom of the blog and leave me a comment. I'd be delighted. Please consider what's been shared here today and apply it into your thinking for this next week or so. And equally as importantly, please come back next week and let's share another coffee together, and I'll ruminate on some other aspect of business in the hopes that it'll afford you a shortcut, as I said earlier. In the meantime, get some good R&R, get some downtime, get some good coffee if you can, get some fresh air, and then when the time is right, get your head back in the game, get organised for the week ahead. Remember that the week is the perfect patch in the fabric of life, and you want to make next week work towards your 2020 vision. See you next week. I love my coffee. Thanks for thinking with me, thanks for visiting, and see you here this time next week. Bye for now.